Okay. I thought I was speaking loud enough, but fine. Okay, so we provide a single product called Enterprise File Fabric. The basic premises of Enterprise File Fabric is that you have a lot of different storages. You have OpenIO, you have your existing SIFs, combine them together and give them a single point of access where you can access them using the API, you can access them using a web browser, you can create folders there, you can give them different permissions also there. And that's what the industry, it calls Enterprise File Fabric. So on the left-hand side, you can have OpenIO, you can have Amazon S3, you can have Google Cloud, and we will combine all the different products together. Once we have access to all the data there, you can do quite a few interesting things there. So the first is that, okay, I want to do a home folder replacement. You can use OpenIO as a storage, use Storage Made Easy Enterprise File Fabric, and we provide the tools where the users, they can mount their home shared folders. You can integrate with Active Directory. You can provide different permissions there. Everything is for security. There is an order stream available, who accessed the file, when they accessed the file, and from where did they access the files. You can do a search across all the different storages. You want to share the files with your with external partners, you can share it with the external partners also. Just like shared links, but you have a lot of control, how many downloads you can do. Do they need authentication, and all that kind of stuff. And then they can access it over the mobile, desktop, web, and all that, as I talked about. But that is the basic value proposition. Now, as we can access all the data and give it a single view, we can also do quite a few interesting things on top of that. One is that we index the data. You can do search on content. And then you can find sensitive data also. That will be the topic for the next talk. But here, just for the introduction, I'm just going to talk about data movement for the data. We have connectors for about 60 different storages. You are using OpenIO. They have their own SIFs. You want to move the data from your SIFs, from your shared drives, from your NASes, from Dropbox, from Google Drive. You can use Enterprise File Fabric to move that data. You have acquired it now. You want to share it, you can protect it, or you can also do a backup on OpenIO, but just for the files. We don't work like Rubrik that do the VM backups. Now, a lot of companies, media companies and research companies, they have huge amounts of data. If there is a media company, they are normally the file sizes for their media, that's about 100 gigabytes. Now, when they're moving to 8K UHD, the file size, that increases to 800 gigabytes. Normally, the way they work is that they have a tier 1 storage, which is a fast SSD drives, all their systems that do the transcoding, that do the processing, the human video editors, they access it using that. And then they archive it to an object storage, and that can be OpenIO. Now, when you're working with about very, very large files, if you have to transfer 800 gigabytes, and the Mellanox chap, he talked about it, that, okay, the network, that becomes your bottleneck. All right, you have a fast network. You have a 10G or 100G network. Now, if you are reading it from OpenIO, normally, most of the clients, they will read it using a single stream or a single network connection. You have to do the processing there. Now, that becomes the bottleneck. You are transferring a 100 gigabyte, a terabyte file. That can take hours there. Now, we provide a technology also, which we call MStream. What that does is that on the Swift API, it uses SLOs and DLOs to upload the files, and when you are reading it, it uses range lanes. So rather than just having one lane that is reading the data and writing it somewhere, you are opening multiple lanes. So you can have 8 lanes, you can have 10 lanes. And that way, when you're doing the transfer from tier 1 to tier 2 or tier 2 to tier 1, and you have a fast network pipe in between, you are increasing your speed about 8 to 10 times faster. In our tests, what we did at customer sites in states where they had a very, very fast network, spindle disks, but all in an array and data spread out. For a single object transfer for 1 terabyte, we could achieve 750 megabytes per second. In normal circumstances, you will achieve probably about, with normal hardware, not that fast. If you're achieving 30 megabytes per second, you can do the transfers about to 100, 150 megabytes per second. But we have seen 750 megabytes per second speed increases there. Okay? So that was, so I'm talking a bit fast, so I'll finish quicker than 10 minutes. And then another thing that we provide is that we provide legacy gateways that you are using OpenIO. You want to access it using WebDAV protocol, or you want to access it as SFTP or FTP protocol. We also provide gateways that you can connect to OpenIO and access the data using those storages. So if you have legacy devices, you can use those to access that. So that was my talk. Thank you very much.